It's okay. It's coffee hour. I think we can be having conversations. Christian was just running back to the sanctuary. He's doing some behind the scenes work in the sanctuary. And we think that you all might have the option to unmute yourselves if we want to have a little bit of chatter. If it begins to be too much sound, or if a dog starts barking or a doorbell rings, just go ahead and mute. If something is happening in your environment, you can go ahead and mute your own mic again. So maybe you got a cup of coffee, maybe you ran around the house and got some supplies. Everything that's on this table came from my house, except for a few things over here. So, you know, a chalice, when we light the chalice at the beginning of worship, that is I've got a story that I'm going to read you in a minute about the chalice, but that's a symbol of our faith. It's something that unites us. And you can use, if you have a candle at home, let's see, where's my other candle? If you have a candle at home, you can light a candle. It can be as simple as that. It really can. If you would like to make something, sometimes we do this in RE. This is a little flower pot chalice that I made some years ago. So this used to look like this. And we turned this upside down and put this on top of it. And I painted it first and let the paint dry. And then I cut out some, here's a bigger one that might be easier for you to see. This is from here in the congregation. So it was a flower pot that got turned over and the base got put on the top. And this one was painted green. And then they cut images and words out from a magazine and put on the chalice. So these were words and images that were meaningful to the people who were making this chalice. This is actually, I keep this chalice at home, and I have another one like it. It's a different color with some different kind of decoration that sits on my dining room table so that we have a chalice on the table each night. And you could, I think you could get really creative. You could make a chalice with all sorts of things. You know, I found some plastic cups at home that you could turn over and put, I have a little tin from one of these kind of cups. So I could, you know, put a little thing on top of it like that. Let's see, what else did I find? I have a canning jar and a lid that I could use, or maybe I'd want something a little smaller. Maybe I'd use my canning lid on something like this, or this one might not even, this has a nice broad base. This one might not even need anything on top of it. But in my recycling, I have a chocolate hummus tin, right? So I could also use, you know, the top of my hummus tin. Kimberly, have you ever made a chalice?
I have.
Have you?
I have. I made a chalice, but you're going to laugh. I needed to make a big chalice.
Yeah.
And I found a vase with a nice flat bottom.
Yeah.
And a bowl that went on top. So our chalice was, well, I mean, as big as our regular chalice.
Wow.
It was huge, but it was beautiful.
I bet it was.
And I had to use hot glue to hold the bowl and the vase together.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So in my recycling, I found a spaghetti bottle that could be used, or a tin can of vegetable. I found a little tiny 5-hour energy thing that I'm going to ask my teenager about. But I was thinking, you know, this might be I don't know, maybe I could use it as a something, or even this as a something, I don't know. And then I wondered about, what about organic materials? So I cut an orange in half and thought, you know, maybe I could make, if I've got a little skewer, maybe I could make a little chalice with my orange and put a little candle down in there. This one won't last very long because it's got the orange, but it's very sweet and it's very organic. And I found a pine cone that I wondered if I could do something with. By the way, can you see my little orange chalice? One of my colleagues, so we've been sharing some ideas online, and I said something about a little orange chalice, and she sent me a link that tells you how to take an orange, hollow it out, and make the orange a candle itself. People who craft like that, I'm just amazed at. I'm amazed at. I'm impressed. So I'm going to keep thinking about the pine cone, but I like the idea of a pine cone. So are you seeing anything in chat? Are you seeing chat at all, Kimberly?
I'm not watching it right now, but
You're having your coffee hour over there?
I'm having my coffee hour.
Awesome.
I will check. I'll see.
All right, so I'm going to put my little orange chalice up there. Let's see, I had a little holiday box that I thought I could glue the top on that. And then with all of these pieces, if you want to decorate them, I've got some pieces of felt around the house. I'd use this one for something else. I have different color. I'm one of those people who, during the holidays, I save tissue paper. So I have a bunch of different kinds of tissue paper that can be glued on to something. So if I want to decorate this, for example, or maybe this, you know, I could glue on my tissue paper, or even double-sided tape. Here, I have some double-sided tape, so you could use double-sided tape. Maybe I'll do that one of this. I also found this KitchenAid thing in my kitchen that I don't use. It was nice to find. I might use it, but I could also turn it into something. But don't go stealing things out of the kitchen without asking. Make sure you ask. But who knows, that could be turned into something. So I think I'm going to double-side tape this, because maybe not everybody has glue at home, but you might have tape. So let's see what happens if I do this. Is anybody else out there making a chalice? Did you find some things?
Let's see. So we do have some people. Christine says we're using a tin for one and a flower pot for the other.
Oh, nice.
And Majek is with you. They're not crafting. Perfectly happy with my favorite candle. Terry
Awesome.
Coon, another decorating idea. You can use regular glue and wrap yarn around the flower pot instead of paint.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Tara James suggests when we get through this, I would love to have a Make Your Own Chalice event for adults. So
let's do it.
So let's think about doing that when we can get back together.
That'd be awesome.
Ann says, so what do you put in the hollowed out orange to make it burn?
You could put a little tea light.
Yep.
If you want.
Sure.
I will post. So here's what I'm going to do. You all who have chalices at home that you made, or if you're making something today, send me a picture. I'm going to start posting these on the RE blog space. And I will post a link to the crafting thing that tells you how to actually make the inside of the orange itself a candle. Mm-hmm. I am not crafty enough to have memorized or remembered that, but I'll post the link. And if you have other links that you want to share, we'll post them in the blog spot.
Great. Steve says I've got this plugged into my TV, so it feels like a cooking show. Bam! Which is kind of true. It does look a bit like it does look like a little, you need to invoke the Rachel Ray of it all, That's awesome. EBOO.
My EBOO. That's awesome.
Laura Kim is just watching and enjoying, making a virtual chalice with my arms raised here. Did a great job you're doing. Nice.
Let's
This is so cool. Oh, look, that's pretty.
All right, so there's my base.
Yeah.
You see that?
A little hard, there's a little bit of light shining on
Is
it,
there?
but trust me, there's really pretty paper on there.
There's pretty paper.
Pretty paper.
Let's see now. I found these little, I think these are kind of crafting spools, but these little spools of thread that if you wanted to use it to elevate something, you know, if you were going to, so this is the lid from my little candy tin.
Nice.
That actually I was thinking about for our graduating seniors, making little carry chalice and altar so they could open something up and have a tea light inside and maybe a little cloth and maybe a little sacred object or something, so that if they wanted to create their own kind of sacred space, they could do that. But I think I'll need something bigger than this. So I could do that. I could glue these pieces so that it kind of looks like that.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
Or I could just set this right on top. I would probably glue it down if I were going to keep it. And I have some other paper. Maybe I'll put some paper around the top of the lid. That is stripe paper. I'm going to use this pink. I also have ribbons. So my chalice at home, and Terry, this might kind of go to your idea, but the chalice that I have at home on my dining room table has a ribbon that I just kind of fastened like this around it.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the yarn idea. I love the yarn idea. So if you're a knitter and you have yarn, you can go to your recycling bin and find probably everything you need. All right, so is anybody else chatting anything?
Well, Administrator left. I'm not sure who that is exactly. Says, I'm not crafting, but enjoying all of your company as I make my tea.
Good.
I have a chalice from my youth advisor days. A glass dessert dish with a battery votive candle.
Oh, beautiful.
Those are great too, right? In fact, once I used a, not a champagne flute, but the ones that are the other kind of champagne glasses that are flatter.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of what the style is, but that was really pretty.
Oh, I bet that was pretty. You know, one of those comments makes me think about something that Kimberly and I have been talking about, which is just creating space where we can be like this together. And this morning, in order to get a bunch of people on the Zoom, we had to do it as a webinar. But when we send out other Zoom links, those will be places where you can be unmuted and talking with each other and interacting. I think Joe even sent out, Joe found his own Zoom link. So you can go to Zoom and get your own Zoom link and send it out to your friends or whoever. And there used to be about a 40-minute limit on free Zoom accounts, but I think Zoom is beginning to lift those because so many people are using their services. And so you can have coffee with your neighbor next door online or with a family member across the country. We're going to create space like this where we can check in with each other. Starting Monday night, we're doing online story hour. So Jeremiah, if Tara is still on and Jeremiah is there, I hope that tomorrow night you will join us online. It's going to be like this. I'm going to send you a different link. And let's see, I think we said we would open it up at 7:15, and then from 7:30 to 8 o'clock, we're going to be reading bedtime stories. So we're hoping that that gives parents a chance to put your child in their pajamas, get them in bed, get them settled, and then you've got 45 minutes where we're going to read stories, we're going to talk with them, and hopefully that gives you a little bit of a break. And when we're doing video like this, and you can also just call in and listen. You could call in and put a phone, and they could just listen to the story. But we're going to keep those groups small for our children so that we can talk with them and have some interaction. My high school sons and I are going to do the first night, and I think that we're going to read Entangle Makes Three, which is one of my favorite books, and read A Crayon Story. But I'm going to peruse the shelves here a little bit and see if there's another book or two that we might do. And the only people reading to our children in this format will be the children's RE teachers, the high school youth who we know, and maybe some other adult volunteers for RE or parents. But this is going to be a closed space where we all know each other. And we can just still, and the children can connect with each other. We'll unmute everyone, so if they want to talk to each other on Zoom, they can do that. But we want to give you a chance, give parents a chance to have a little bit of a break too.
Tara says, I'm here and Jeremiah will be there tomorrow.
Yay, I can't wait to see you tomorrow night.
Nicole and Muhammad are enjoying watching the process and talking about their own ideas.
Oh, nice.
I should also mention that I'm going to be posting some community chat hours where we can just get together and talk.
Yeah.
I'm also going to develop a virtual workspace for people who are working from home and just want a little company and motivation. So you'll see more about that. And don't forget that you will be seeing a lot more about the Nowruz celebration,
right,
which will be happening online, and there'll be a lot of information and instructions about that. Advice will.
And he shared a note in the chat a little bit earlier.
Great.
All right, so Kimberly, can you hold that a little bit closer to the camera?
Sure.
So people can see the chalice that I just made.
So here it is. See? Very nice.
So that's just one idea. So people are not able to unmute themselves and talk to each other.
Christian is still watching on the tech side. Maybe he can unmute everybody.
I'll say for a few.
It has been wonderful the past couple days. We are looking forward to all the feedback about things that we could do differently for next Sunday. And I want you to know a lot of work went into this morning, and it has been so wonderful to have Reverend Kimberly's background with the Church of the Larger Fellowship, where they do online worship all the time. That has just been invaluable, her experience and her tips and suggestions. So we're lucky to have her right now. Okay, one of my other colleagues talked about the Easter egg. You could take that apart and hook it together, kind of like the oranges. That could be kind of cute.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Tara, is Jeremiah thinking about a chalice he might be able to make at home? Does he have any ideas what he might use?
He's not here, but
I love this ribbon.
we're going to do this next week.
This was one of our holiday.
Terry is wondering if we can do our dance movement group via Zoom. Yes, Terry, it's on my list to talk to you about that. Because I think that we can do exercise, movement, yoga.
Flash mob dance party.
Right. Oh, dance parties. Yep. Yeah. So let's talk, Terry.
Yes, and I really like the idea of the shared workspace that Reverend Kimberly was just talking about. Some of us work at home on a regular basis and are used to that, but for people who are used to having people around them and interacting, one of our colleagues has been offering space like that where everybody's in a Zoom like this and we're all muted throughout the hour and doing our own work. And then at the top of the hour, they unmute and people have a chance to say hello and how are you and did you get much done? And, you know, and then after about 5 or 10 minutes, they close it down again, or they close the sound and mute themselves and everybody goes back to doing their own work. But they're still connected. It's a way to still feel connected. So we're going to be looking for lots more ideas and your ideas about ways that we can keep doing that.
Yep.
All right, has anybody had any ideas for the pine cone?
The pine cone.
I thought about maybe seeing if I could find a piece of bark outside, that because this one stands pretty straight. It's got a pretty flat bottom.
Yeah.
It was at one time a ornament, but I was thinking maybe I could find a sturdy leaf or piece of bark or something that might sit on top of that.
Well, the other thing you can do,
Yeah.
once you make sure that it's flat on the bottom, and maybe you take a knife and like a serrated knife.
Yeah.
If you take off the top little bit,
It's its own.
it is its own, and you just put a little candle in there.
I love that. Can I do that without ruining it, you think?
Well, probably. You might want to cut it.
We're about to find out.
We are. Look, it twists right off.
Yep, that twisted right off.
You can pull a few more of the petals. What do we? Pods, I guess. Those are seed pods. Yeah. I was gonna call them leaves. Knew that wasn't right.
Let's see if that's enough. And some of you at home, if you don't want to use candles, we have a bunch of these battery lights. And let me say, if this looks like something fun you would like to do at home, but you don't have these materials and you can't get out, I am more than happy to put together a bag for you that someone could drop off, or I could leave outside and you could pick it up, or
Yeah.
So if you'd like to do something like this and need some materials, just email me and I will set that up.
Yep.
Okay,
So let's see if it works.
look at you, look how smart you are.
Oh, look at that. That's great.
I love that.
Yay!
That works out great. I love that. I love that.
You guys should put this up on YouTube and share with other leaders, says Laura Kim. You're right. We should do this.
So, again, send me your pictures, send ideas. I'm going to start putting them on the RE blog. I'll just keep adding as you email me things.
Yeah.
And we're also going to be collecting resources to share with you. A lot of our colleagues right now are sharing resources, and the other day somebody posted a list of museums that have virtual tours.
Yep.
So we'll get you the link so that you can go do that.
There's also, there's so many things. The Metropolitan Opera, every night this week is broadcasting for free on their website, operas. I saw a link from PBS, and I need to look more deeply, but I think there's some cool free stuff.
I think so.
I also know that Broadway Central is working on some streaming of plays.
Oh, nice.
So I don't have the links of those. So it's possible we're going to be able to see the art we love, and maybe some of the shows that we can't go see because our tickets got canceled.
Right. Right. So Reverend Kimberly, this is kind of noisy. Reverend Kimberly and I are putting together a list of links that we'll share with you so that you have some additional resources at home. And if you find something neat, please send it to us so that we can add it to the list of resources that we're sharing. For families, I emailed out, is this crinkling too much?
Crinkle.
I'm gonna finish crinkling. There we go. For families, I emailed out a list of resources for talking with your children about what's happening. Times are uncertain. As Reverend Kimberly said during her reflection, it's hard to know sometimes if we're overreacting, underreacting, or just right reacting. And uncertainty can be a little unnerving for young people, just as it is for adults. So I sent parents some resources for talking with your children. The first one of which is a link to a report that our own Kate Snow did on the NBC Nightly News
Yes.
about talking to your children, and she interviewed some experts and had some really good advice there. So those links are in your email. All right, I used all of my double-sided tape.
Can we add the links to the website? Yes. So we'll make sure that we put that on there, and we'll just keep adding to it as we find stuff. That's a great idea, Anne.
There's I started putting RE information as a Google Doc on the front page of the website. And so we already have space right there that we can use. I need a way to secure this because I ran out of tape. And
For now, do you want to use some blue painter's tape?
Yes. I do. Thank you.
Huzzah! Blue painter's tape for the win. Upcycle and recycle, says Imelda. Absolutely. We love it too.
Is Aria there?
Is Aria there, Imelda? We'll see in a minute. Yes, she keeps asking to see you too.
Hi, Aria. Hi. How are you?
Yay.
Oh, it's so nice to know that Aria and Jeremiah are out there.
Yep.
I love that. Is Aria thinking about a chalice she can make?
She said no.
That's
Wow.
okay.
That's all right.
Oh, the felt is kind of pretty.
Oh, she's sick. Yeah.
Oh, nuts.
You know, that's one of the hard parts of this happening in the spring is that a lot of us are dealing with allergies too. So I'm on my allergy meds, making sure I keep ahead of that.
I am too. I have just sort of a standard winter cough. And no other symptoms.
Right. I will say it's helpful to know that there's a specific list of symptoms.
Yeah, it is.
And you kind of have to have all of those things. The fever's the big one.
Right, yeah.
So I'm not gonna lie, I check my temperature every now and then just to
Sure.
make sure that I'm not missing something.
Gosh, yeah.
And it feels a little alarmist, but it makes me feel a little safe.
Well, why not?
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt you.
Oh, Christine says we're inspired to do some origami.
Oh, origami.
That's
Let's
a
do
great
that.
idea.
Origami is a great idea. We could do that. That could be one of our online activities. And you know, one of the things that I'm actually a little bit excited about is that I think this gives us such a nice opportunity to do all ages activities. So something like origami is fun for the children and youth, and it's fun for adults too. And so being able to create some online space where adults and children and youth can interact. And again, those kinds of spaces will be closed spaces. Only the people who have the numbers will be able to go into those spaces for safety, you know.
Right. Yep.
All right, let's see. How's that? How's that?
Very cool.
I need to figure out another way to secure that.
Well, sometimes glue and tape
Yeah.
are good things. Oh, and here's another tip. If you are putting something together for a while, but you think, well, maybe I need to actually turn it back into a flower pot at some point, if you buy that sticky stuff that we use to put posters,
Right.
what's it called?
Sticky stuff?
The sticky stuff that you use, yeah. You rip off a little bit and you put it on the wall.
Yeah.
That will secure things pretty well temporarily and not ruin the objects.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
So whatever that sticky stuff is called. Somebody in the wants to chat the name if you know what it's called. You know, we're using the technical names here.
If you're gonna, so painting stuff is a lot of fun. And when I paint, I like to wear the gloves because then I could just peel them off and clean up is a little bit easier. But all right, green giant corn can, you're next.
Oh, ho, ho, ho.
Oh, and let me just say, so with a jar, I'm going to take this off because I didn't fasten it down.
Yep.
You can also, and these you might not have at home, but I can make little baggies of these for you.
Explain what they are because they're not reading well.
They're not reading well. So these are little beads that they had the holes in them that you can string together.
Little plastic beads.
Little plastic beads, yep. So if you have little ones, you might not want beads.
So
Yeah.
let's see if you can see them a little bit better. These beads. Yeah, as I drop them all over the table.
And outside, you might have some rocks. You can use rocks. I'm thinking about things to put down inside of jars like this one.
Oh, the glass beads.
So the glass beads would be pretty. I don't know. But even just an empty jar filled up with glass beads or rocks that you might have around your house, or those little plastic beads, or Legos. How many parents out there have stepped on Legos in the middle of the night? I have. My boys were big Lego guys for a while. We said it before, but I'm going to say it again. You've seen Kimberly and Georgiana and me this morning, but a lot of people went into making this happen so quickly in such a short time this morning. Pam Parker. Oh, Pam Parker.
Oh, Pam Parker.
We are so
We
grateful
love
for
you,
Pam Parker.
Pamela. Oh, yes, we do. We love you, Pamela, and we'll be true. When you're not with us, we're blue. Oh, Pamela, we love you. Okay.
Yeah.
Couldn't help it.
Are you going to play something, Kim?
No, I'm putting books away, so I know where they are.
Okay.
Oh.
Let's see. Oh, Jeremiah, Aria, what should I make? What should I use for the top of that one? For the top of this one. This is my can that I put some tissue paper around. And now I want to put something on top to make like a little top thingy. How about this one? This one as a top for this one?
Okay. Yeah.
What do you think?
Well,
Too
too
big?
small. I think the top is too small. I want something bigger.
Oh, you want it bigger?
I want bigger.
Like-
Yeah.
like
Like
that?
that. Yeah. There
Yeah.
you go. That looks like a chalice.
Kimberly says, go big.
Go big or go home.
I wonder how well my felt. I'd probably tape it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I ran out of tape, but this might look nice with like a felt.
Oh yeah, that'd be pretty. Yep. And maybe a candle that's a little bit taller.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something to think about. What does the light look like when it comes out?
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking about this one. You've got a plate. You might want a taller candle, or you may like how it makes the orange glow.
Yeah.
In fact,
It might.
oh, there's a thingy.
Oh, it's the post.
Oh,
that's
the
holding
post
it.
is stuck in there. Okay. So.
But I'm guessing it's melted wax that you put down in there and then
Yep.
you put your wick or something.
But look at, yep.
that is a pretty.
But you
glow.
can see, I mean, I just turned it upside down, but you can see it glows a little bit, so that could be really pretty. Yeah. as I drop all the chalice on. How I.
That's even just kind of a,
Yeah.
a
Oh, yeah.
clear.
Yep.
So the opportunities are endless, aren't they?
They are. They are. And again, if you would like to do this, but don't have materials, or you need a couple things and don't want to buy a whole big bag of colored stones, I'm happy to make some little baggies.
Excellent.
All right, are we about done with our coffee hour chalice making?
I think so. This was amazing. And I love that we're doing a little something after the service. So we should think about other things that we could do like this.
Right, and if this continues to be, so if the webinar feature allows us to have more people, but you can't talk to each other, we might say worship is here so that a lot of people can watch. And then 15 minutes later, coffee hour is here,
Right.
where you can unmute yourselves and talk to each other.
That might be a really great way to do that.
So we're going to just kind of be thinking throughout the week about ways that we can further hone what we've done. And it's going to be a work in progress. We're going to be in beta for several weeks, as Kimberly was saying.
Yeah, and always in beta,
Always
we
in
say
beta.
at Church of the Larger Fellowship.
Yes. Ann and Joe Majak. I completely forgot to say Ann and Joe Majak.
Oh my gosh,
Who?
Ann and Joe Majak, who hung this beautiful curtain for us,
Yes.
helped
So that
us
there
make this
wasn't-
space.
So that you weren't seeing a big glare from the light. We did some practices during the week and saw that there was going to be a glare there. So Ann and Joe Majak, we're all over that. Thank you very much.
Yes. And also, I know he's not online, but a shout out to Tim Lynch for helping us turn off an alarm this morning.
Yes. Yes.
Many hands, y'all, many hands.
That's right. That's right. It's been a real joy for us to be with you this morning. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yes, thank you so much. Oh, I shouldn't be that close. Sorry. Habits. But thank you so much for being here. And we'll stay in touch and stay in touch with us.
Watch your email for more updates about ways that we're going to be in touch with each other. Until then, stay safe and stay healthy and keep in touch with each other the best ways you can.
That's right.
Thank you.
Bye.